Just 2 short days ago, I put out a video warning you guys that it was only a matter of time before we saw some more stories like the Karmelo Anthony story. I warned you guys that we live in a monkey see, monkey do society. So it was only a matter of time before we saw some Karmelo Anthony inspired attacks. And here we are, just 2 short days later to discuss just that, to discuss a story that is kind of like the Karmelo Anthony story. Now, luckily, this story does not involve kids, but it is still heartbreaking, tragic, and it's infuriating. It's disgusting because it's something that should have never happened. So, up in Kansas City, a firefighter slash paramedic by the name of Graham Hoffman was out on duty, serving his community. Now, from everything I hear about this guy, he would give you the shirt off his back. A very loving person. Everyone respected him, a hard worker. And on Sunday morning, he was in the back of an ambulance, transporting a patient to the hospital, as he often does in his job, right? And he was transporting a patient by the name of Shanita. Well, en route to the hospital, for no apparent reason at all, mind you, Graham Hoffman's a paramedic, sitting in the back of the ambulance with this patient, Shanita, and out of nowhere, unprovoked, Shanita decided, hey, while I'm in the back of this ambulance being helped by this man, right? As Graham Hoffman is helping me and taking me to the hospital, I guess I'm just going to pull out this knife and stab him in the heart. Shanita stabbed Graham Hoffman right in the chest in the back of an ambulance as Graham was trying to help her. As Graham was transporting her to the hospital, she pulls out a knife, stabs him in the chest, and ends his life. Now, it turns out this Shanita, big surprise, it turns out that she just assaulted a police officer a few days ago. She bit a police officer, she resisted arrest, and for some reason, they just let her right back out on the streets so she could go and prey on white people, which is what she did. She should have been in jail after assaulting an officer. That's not something that you should get immediately out for, but she immediately got out, like they always do, and immediately went right back into the public to harm more people. And now, because this low-life dirtbag scum of the earth was released from jail, now we are dealing with the loss of a great man. And why does it always happen this way? We have these low lifes, right? These low lives are always ending the life of people who have a bright future ahead of them, outstanding citizens. Think of Austin Metcalf and the future he had ahead of him. Think about this paramedic. A firefighter slash paramedic that was serving his community was literally in the act of helping Shanita, taking her to the hospital when she decides, oh, I don't care, I'm just going to plunge this knife in your chest. Now, of course, Graham didn't expect that at all. He was a kind-hearted person. He didn't care how you looked, who you were. None of that mattered. He was going to help. And here he is being a kind-hearted person, helping, only to receive a knife to the chest. Now, they've been discussing this on the news, and I'm really pissed off because a lot of the headlines say, oh, firefighter dies in the line of duty. Paramedic dies in the line of duty. That's what a lot of the headlines say, okay? A lot of the headlines say, oh, this paramedic died in the line of duty. And they forget to tell you, oh, this paramedic was stabbed in the chest by a black woman that he was trying to help in the back of an ambulance. as he was taking her to the hospital, she murdered him. They leave that out of the headlines, and it's infuriating. But they did discuss this on the news briefly, and I want to show you that. But first, if you guys enjoy the videos, if you appreciate the videos, if you appreciate the hard work that I'm putting in over here, please consider donating to the channel via Cash App or Super Thanks. This platform does not like people like me telling the truth about stories like this one and telling the truth about stories like the Karmelo Anthony case. Okay? YouTube and none of these social media platforms like that. So when you guys support, it means a lot and it helps a lot. It goes a long way. Also, you can support for free as well by liking the video, sharing the video on social media, commenting down below, becoming part of the conversation. All of those things help the channel more than you know. But with that being said, let's roll this news clip. Let's hear a little bit more about what happened, and then I'll be right back with more thoughts.
Focused on grieving for his mother, his father, his sibling, his family, and everyone in the KCFD family.
First here at 10, the Kansas City Fire Department is mourning the loss of a paramedic firefighter who died in the line of duty today. 29-year-old Graham Hoffman was stabbed by a patient while working a routine call early this morning. Thank you for joining us here on Fox 4 News at 10. I'm Shannon Brousseau. Hoffman died from his injuries this afternoon. Fox 4's Lexi French joins us live now at North Kansas City Hospital. Lexi, charges have been filed against the patient accused of stabbing him. Is that right?
Yeah, Shannon, that's right. And KCFD officials describe Graham Hoffman as somebody who loved life and serving his community. He served with KCFD for 3 years. Now, Shanita Basel faces multiple charges, including first-degree murder, armed criminal action, assault, and resisting arrest in connection with the killing of 29-year-old Graham Hoffman.
This is a senseless act that has taken a young man from his family, friends, and co-workers and deprived our city of a dedicated firefighter who only wanted to serve and protect those in this community.
Hoffman was responding to a routine call around 1 a.m. on Sunday. He was stabbed by a patient while transporting her to a local hospital. Hoffman's partner immediately initiated a crew emergency.
And additional KCFD and KCPD personnel were dispatched to the scene. KCFD crews worked to save firefighter Hoffman's life while en route to North Kansas City Hospital. Life-saving efforts were performed in the emergency room, and he was placed in the ICU, where he later succumbed to his injuries.
KCFD held a procession for firefighter Hoffman Sunday afternoon at North Kansas City Hospital.
He was an excellent paramedic who treated his patients with the highest level of skill and compassion. The Kansas City Fire Department grieves with Graham's family, friends, and loved ones.
Hoffman usually worked out of KCFD station number 42, but was working overtime Sunday morning when he was fatally stabbed.
This should not have happened. There are a lot of things that have happened since I became mayor a few years ago. I never expected a line of duty death like this one. You never expect a violent criminal incident to bring this amount of pain to a community and a family. This is wholly unacceptable.
During a news conference Sunday afternoon, city leaders promised to support Hoffman's family as they navigate this unimaginable loss.
There will be many steps ahead as we evaluate what happened, as we review what occurred, as we address whatever needs to happen in the future. But today, I'm focused on grieving for his mother, his father, his sibling, his family, and everyone in the KCFD family. We know that we will stand with them not just today, but well into the future.
A criminal history check of Shanita Basel shows that she was arrested and charged with assault in the second degree and resisting arrest. Last week, she's accused of biting a police officer on April 23rd. She posted bond on April 25th. Tonight, though, she is in law enforcement custody, and Shannon, she's being held on $1 million bond.
And to think, people ask me, why do you feel so strongly about the Karmelo Anthony case? Well, it's because there's stories like this one happening every day, a lot of which you never hear about. but they always involve some black person killing a white person. And the white person is always like some type of outstanding citizen, a pillar of their community, a loving grandpa, a upcoming football star, a paramedic slash firefighter that was literally putting in overtime, helping people on the streets, found this woman injured on the streets and transported her to a hospital in the ambulance, only to be stabbed in the chest in the ambulance for trying to help this woman. So that's why I feel so strongly about the Karmelo Anthony case, because cases like this are happening every day. People are turning a blind eye towards it because they don't want labels placed on them. And 9 times out of 10, these people who are committing these violent acts are people who previously committed violent acts and should have already been in jail. Now, some people will say, well, that doesn't apply to Karmelo. Well, if you look at the fact that Karmelo was actually involved in an assault at school on February 4th and had been suspended for bringing a knife to school, you would understand that Karmelo had no business even being at school. He should have been expelled. And if he was, Austin would still be here today. Just like if Shanita was kept in jail for what she did to that police officer, biting him, assaulting him, and resisting arrest, and literally trying to kill a police officer a few days ago, if she was kept in jail instead of being released right into the public once again, then Graham Hoffman would still be here today. I'm not going to silently sit by and look around me every day and see dozens of stories like this one without saying anything. Too many people are dying. Not enough people are speaking out. This is a very, very real problem. The Karmelo Anthony story was not a one-off, okay? That's not a one-off story, something that just happens very rarely. No, it was just, the straw that broke the camel's back. For a lot of people, it was the last straw to where they're like, okay, I'm not going to sit here silently and just allow this problem to keep continuing to happen without at the very least, acknowledging that this problem exists. So yeah, there is a real problem out there that we're dealing with right now, and everyone can pretend that it's not real, but it's real. Austin Metcalf knows it's real. Graham knows it's real. Their families know it's real. And for the people who think it's not real, it's only a matter of time before you are directly affected. Okay? Because this is happening at such a rate, before you know it, none of us are going to be able to sit here and say that we have not been directly affected by this. Our family members, friends, or someone. So this is a tragic, heartbreaking situation that I saw coming from 10,000 light years away. Because I knew it was only a matter of time before we start seeing this. Because the community has sent a message. And listen, the portions of the black community that are supporting Karmelo, it's not all black people. But there is a portion of that community that has sent the message loud and clear to everyone that, hey, it's okay to stab white people in the chest whenever you want to, right? So, for Karmelo, it was over touching a backpack. For this woman, it's over, how dare you help me and try to take me to the hospital? Yeah, right? So how long before they raise $500,000 for her? How long before they say that she's the victim of racism? I think the paramedic said the N-word. How long before they created a fake narrative like that? I wouldn't be surprised if they did. Because there's zero accountability always, which is why these crimes keep taking place. Not only are people afraid to speak up, but the court systems, the legal systems, they are just revolving these people right out of jail like a revolving door. You come to jail, and we just turn you around and let you back out so you could prey on innocent people. That's what's happening. Because they know damn good and well that these people are predators. They know damn good and well that this woman, Shanita, had no place in the general public. They knew damn good and well that after she assaulted that police officer, that she was going to go out in the streets and commit more crimes and hurt more people, and that's why they let her out. Because there's people behind the scenes that want chaos, they want destruction, they want to allow the most evil and vile people to roam the streets and hurt innocent people. There's no other way around it. This is what some of these people want, okay? this isn't a mistake. This isn't just because people are stupid. It's all by design. People like Shanita are arrested and released right back on the streets by design because they want them committing more crimes, specifically against people like Graham and against people like Austin, against people like me, against people like a lot of you watching this video. So we could sit here and ignore reality, but reality is going to continue slapping us in the face, okay? Every day. A couple of days from now, there will be another story like this one, and all of you can pretend like this is not an issue, and the issue will slap you in your face again. And it's going to repeatedly slap you in the face until it's one of your family members or it's you. So I think we need to get ahead of this problem. When people have these violent outbursts and they're attacking police officers, when these kids are bringing knives to school, we need to go ahead and separate these people from the general public so we can preserve the lives of innocent people who don't deserve to die. So I'm extremely frustrated by this story, especially, knowing that this woman had no business being out of jail. And I mean, where are you safe? You're not safe at track meets, that's for sure. And apparently, paramedics cannot even feel safe in the back of an ambulance while transferring someone to the hospital because they may be stabbed in the ambulance. I've never, ever in my life have I ever heard of anything like this. I'm not saying it hasn't happened before. I'm sure it has. But in my lifetime and in all of the years that I've been covering stories like this, I have never seen anything like this. And it breaks my heart and it makes me scared for where we're going as a country, where we're going as a society. Because when I look around me, I know that most of my peers are still afraid to speak out. They'll allow 1,000 firefighters to get murdered in the back of ambulances before they say something. But for now, you feel free to say something down in the comments below. If you would like to support the channel, you know how. Cash App or Super Thanks. Also support the channel for free by sharing the video, liking, and subscribing. But with that being said, I'll talk to you all very soon in the next one.